What's up, everyone? Welcome back. In today's video, I want to discuss why I've decided to stop farming the prophecy dungeon. Stop farming the Grandmaster Nightfalls. I stopped farming everything that does not produce enhanced perks. And it's a pretty simple reason. If you find this topic interesting, stay tuned. But before we jump into the juice, don't forget to hit that like button, comment down below your thoughts, and subscribe if you enjoy the vibe. A little disclaimer, I do not want to tell anyone how to play Destiny 2. This is just how I see it. So without any further ado, let's jump into the juice, baby. Like I said, I was farming the prophecy dungeon. I believe I did one run solo, then I jumped into a group and I realized that the judgment wasn't dropping. So then I decided to take a break from the prophecy dungeon and jump into a master lost sector. My build was not doing what I wanted it to do. That quickly arose my issue with Destiny 2, and that is these goddamn unstoppable anti-barrier and overload champion mods being in the artifact and being on weapons that I don't want to use because my build isn't great with weapons like sidearms. It's only good for auto rifles, and I need auto rifles, but auto rifles are overload, not anti-barrier, and I need an anti-barrier, so I gotta put on this sidearm. And that just sucks, man. I decided from that moment on to play Destiny 2 the way Bungie is designing us to play it. I think that's what flipped in my head. Stop fighting against the developers. What are the developers telling you with their game design? After I let this thought sink in that we must not fight the game design, we must be one with the game design, I feel like my eyes were just opened and I could finally see clearly as to how much time I was wasting in Destiny 2. I am not going to farm Master Lost sectors for anything but exotics, okay? I'm not doing any Grandmaster Nightfalls unless there are enhanced perks, man. I'm not trying to do... I'm trying to become more accustomed to master raids, and I'm not trying to do normal raids because I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, it's way faster to unlock red borders in master raids than it is in the easier version. So I'm looking to up my game so I could optimize my time. And not only optimize my time, but optimize my builds as well, because when you're having these enhanced perks, they're making everything better in your build, potentially. You know, I'm not going to test every single enhanced perk. I'm just going to go with the game design. Enhanced perks are supposedly better than the regular version. So I'm going to run with that until I see a video that proves that they're not. And again, like I said before, I may have said this before, maybe I cut it out. Even if it's 0.1/10 of a second faster or a 0.1/10 of an advantage, I'm still going to go with enhanced, because at the end of the day, 1/10 is greater than 0. With that being said, I want to quickly just solidify my point in the fact that hunting red borders is just superior. Bungie has introduced a lot of shortcuts in the red border farming, the crafting weapon system, but there aren't a lot of shortcuts in the farming game. They're just not, man. Man, the farming game has not gotten any quality of life changes. That piece needs some work. Like the prophecy dungeon, we're not able to just farm weapons. You know, they do have some target loot pools, but the loot pools are so big, you may never see the weapon that you want. You have to be extremely lucky. But for craftable weapons, there's so many shortcuts. We have deepsight harmonizers, so we can create our red borders. We can level our weapons from level 0 to 100, allowing us to craft enhanced perks just like that if we have the materials. We also also have weekly red borders, so we can unlock a red border every week in raids at the end of the raid at the vendor. We can also usually get a weekly red border from the seasonal activities as well. We can target farm red borders. You have the materials. All you have to do is go to the weapon, click it, and hopefully it will drop a red border. If it doesn't, okay, I'll just use a deepsight harmonizer. It's just crazy, all of the shortcuts we have to getting red borders and to getting the weapons that we desire if they are craftable. That's just one reason. The shortcuts, the time investment is not indefinite. When I say the time investment is not indefinite, what I mean is when you're farming for a god roll, you never know if you're gonna get that god roll, especially a 5 for 5. You may get a 3 out of 5, maybe a 4 out of 5, but getting a 5 for 5 god roll in a decent amount of time, that is super rare. You gotta be super duper lucky. You gotta be super duper lucky for that to happen. And I just want to convince people and open more eyes to what has happened in Destiny 2. Before, we were farming our eyes and hands off, but now we can just chill. Like, we don't have to farm for the god rolls in the prophecy dungeon if we don't want to. And if you are build centric, if you are build focused like me, you definitely don't need to farm the prophecy dungeon. You don't want to do these things. All you want to do is try to get as many enhanced perks, as many craftable weapons as you possibly can. Get all of the artifice armor that you possibly can. Everything else does not matter. The only thing that matters are the stats, and whatever's going to buff your stats the best, that's what you should be using. That's the road I'm going to go down, and I hope you all enjoyed today's video. I'll see you in the next one, baby. Peace and one love.